Good morning. Today is Friday, November 28th, 2014, and this is Before the First Cup with Zorie and Lady Pitbull on UCY.TV. Good morning, lady.
Hi, how are you?
Kind of chilly, but good. Well slept.
Good.
I ate so much yesterday, man. At 9:30, I was in bed.
That's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great day. Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was quite nice. And I didn't really eat a whole lot of stuff that I shouldn't have eaten. I just ate a tiny sliver of pumpkin pie and a couple of crackers, and that was the only thing that I shouldn't have been eating. And the rest is totally
I ate all
solid.
good stuff for me, but I ate too much of it because it tastes so good.
That's good. That's really good. Oh,
I think Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. I don't care too much for all the rest of them, but it's a day that, you really give thanks for the ones you love. And yeah, kind of makes you feel all warm inside.
I know, especially if you got some nice warm food on a cold day. It's pretty bad out there. Yesterday, I made a mistake when I was on with Shali. I was saying that California was 4 hours difference from the Eastern Standard Time or whatever, and he's like, it's 3 hours difference, and it's 3 hours difference, so I was wrong. I'm retracting what I said.
I don't know. Time change always confuses me.
Well, I always thought it was 5 in the morning for you, not 6.
I get up at 5, but no, it's at 6 when we go on. But I talk with a lot of people, like in Switzerland and Europe and the Netherlands and Australia. And Australia, it's the next day at like noon when I'm talking to them, and it's just like I go, well, then we haven't had this conversation yet. For me, it's just weird.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it was just kind of like that. This one, I don't know, general or whatever. I don't even know if he was a general back when Kennedy was assassinated, that he traveled, they sent him to Australia, this guy, and the papers were already out saying that Kennedy was shot and it hadn't happened yet. So. Yeah,
it's weird, Yeah. It's always got me. And then in the Netherlands, they're 9 hours ahead of us.
Yeah.
And so, it's just, when you talk to these people usually on a daily basis, it gets quite confusing. I have 3 clocks in my house, in fact. One has Holland time, one has the East Coast time, and one has my time.
Oh, hey, there you go. That's pretty cool. You'll be able to keep up with Walter over there in the Netherlands. Yeah,
but it's funny because they'll look at the wrong time.
Oh, yeah.
Go, oh, my God, I'm
late. That's funny.
But yeah, time change. I don't understand why we can't all be at the same time, but I guess there's a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, hi, and I hope everybody else had a happy Thanksgiving.
Right. Oh, and I think this could be the coldest Thanksgiving since 1930.
Wow. Hey, global warming.
It says Minnesotans woke up to a sub-zero temperature on Thanksgiving Day. And if the mercury doesn't make it up onto the double digits, the day could be one of the coldest on record. As of 8 a.m., it was 2 below in the Twin Cities and 20 below in northern Minnesota. Wow. That's cold.
20 below? Jeez.
Yep. That's, wow. Yeah, I'm looking at that map up there, and there's 19 below, 11 below, 15 below, all over the East Coast.
Wow.
Here, it was nice here yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But did it rain? Have you gotten any rain?
No. It was supposed to rain today. But we'll see.
We'll see.
It was supposed to rain for 3 days, and we got 1 day of, like, drizzle.
It's 23 here right now.
Wow.
My housemate didn't get a chance to have Thanksgiving because she was on call delivering a baby, which is totally awesome. So we got another Thanksgiving baby here on the planet.
Aww.
And, yeah, it was cute. Little boy. So I'm gonna make a second Thanksgiving dinner here on Saturday. So Saturday we're gonna party.
Cool.
Have a nice party over here and drink our butts off, I guess.
Yeah. I see that it was record sales on Thanksgiving. People just couldn't wait to get out there. I mean, that's the day you're supposed to spend with families and all, but no, everybody's out there trying to get a deal.
Well, I just posted in the chat room the 2014 Mark Dice video where he goes and he bullhorns the shoppers, and I think it's awesome, and I haven't even seen it yet because I'm like, oh, check it out, and then it's like 1 minute to go on air, so I haven't been able to look at it yet.
All right, I'll have to check that out too. I like his videos.
Every year I wait for these Mark Dice videos where he bullhorns the damn shoppers. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. And the thing is, the big things that they have out there, there's usually only like 2 or 3 of them. And everybody fights and scratches and kicks to get one of those 3 things. And then the rest of the sales, I hear, isn't that great.
Right, here's one. It says 2 women fight at Norwalk Walmart over a Barbie doll. I mean, what the hell? I'm going to just read it because it's quick. Authorities said 2 women got into a pushing and shoving match, with at least one of them reportedly throwing a punch over a Barbie doll on Thanksgiving evening. So these people are freaking idiots. And
the Cabbage Patch doll started all this shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, Grandma's grabbing a doll out of a little kid's hands and running with it. Oh, my God.
I mean, come on. I mean, so if this is how people are going to act with, like, dumb-ass Barbie dolls, what are people going to act like when they're starving and the lights go out? That's my big question. I mean, come on. It's the sheriff's deputies had to be called to the Walmart store after reports the fight broke out. Witnesses say the 2 women began fighting over a Barbie doll just before 7 p.m. That's when everybody's eating freaking dinner.
I would have just let them fight it out.
Yeah, let them. Well, yeah, it'll be like Barbie doll freaking gladiator freaking games.
Right.
And
Barbie doll's arms are all pulled off and legs are pulled off.
Deputies were able to defuse the situation and no one was arrested. Oh my God. The whole thing was pretty stupid, a shopper named Sonia. It was very dumb. Really, you think? God.
What are you doing there?
Yeah, exactly. What the hell are you? Yeah, exactly. You're stupid. Oh my God.
It's crazy, and I don't know. Did you see where the drone near misses with piloted aircraft surge in the U.S. airspace?
No.
Yeah, and you knew this was coming. It says pilots and air traffic controllers have reported a sharp rise in the near collisions with drones in the past 6 months, the Washington Post reports, citing Federal Aviation Authority records. June 1, drones came within a few seconds of a few feet of crashing into a much larger aircraft 25 times, the FAA records show. Pilots also reported spotting drones in restricted airspace more than 175 times. The data was released following numerous public records requests by the Washington Post and other news organizations. Most of the near collisions were reported during takeoffs and landings at America's busiest international airports, with a large number of sightings concentrated in New York. And that's the most dangerous time in your air flight, is taking off and landing. And look how many lives these drones are putting, in danger.
Well, who the hell are flying all these little drones anyway? That's what my question is.
Right. It says, the new revelations highlighted that unmanned aerial vehicles pose a greater threat than previously thought. Prior to the records being made public, FAA mentioned only one near collision around Tallahassee, Florida, which took place on March 22nd and involved a U.S. Airways regional airline. According to the records, 8 of the close misses happened in September and 5 in November. The latest one was on November 19th and involved a Life Flight B helicopter and was descending to the Scoville County Airport. FAA records show a nurse saw a drone flying towards the aircraft at a high rate of speed. Pilot made an invasive right bank turn, missing the drone by 50 to 100 feet. Wow, that's close up in the air.
Damn.
The closest drone came to an airplane was 10 feet on November 16th in New York when a Delta Airlines Boeing 737 on flight 838 was descending towards Kennedy International Airport. The Delta pilot reports that the drone came within 10 feet of his left wing, FAA records state. Earlier in November, the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board ruled that the FAA has the authority to apply its standing rules against alleged reckless or careless use of manned aircraft to unmanned aerial vehicles or drones. Now, they don't say anything about tracking the drone to, but how would you track it to somebody? You know?
I don't know, but this is how they're going to put the clamp down on everybody flying these things.
Yeah, I mean, wait till it causes the first airline crash.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
As soon as that happens, the government's going to come out and say, no more hobby drones for anyone. The only people that can fly it is the U.S. government.
There you go. Yeah. And, I mean, because there are a lot of people into flying. Well, they're fun, you know, if they're, you know, like the airplanes and the helicopters that you can remotely fly. But when you're putting lives in danger, it's a different story.
Yeah, how come there hasn't been any instances of those remote control helicopters getting in the way of planes? We're not hearing anything about that, and those have been on the shelves for years.
They don't go up as high, though,
Oh.
that I know of. But
And why are people flying them around airports? That seems so contrived. I don't think anyone is flying their hobby drones around airports. I think this is freaking stuff that the government's doing to create the crisis.
yeah, because I wouldn't think, I mean, you'd be flying them, especially that high, especially over where they land, the airstrip.
Yeah, that makes no sense at all. I don't think anybody, any hobbyist, drone hobbyist, in their right or wrong mind would do that. Why would somebody go, oh, I'm going to go to the airport and fly my drone?
Yeah, huh?
Yeah, come on. I mean, they're just setting this shit up. It's just obvious what's going to happen.
Well, they probably don't want our drones up there spying on their drones.
Right. Or if we can somehow equip our drones with I don't know, slingshot or something like that, take their drones out.
The battle of the drones has started.
It has. It absolutely has. And it's just like those little laser light things, you know. Now those are banned. You can't buy those anywhere, really.
I know. I have one, but it's old. But yeah, because people were they were actually arresting people and putting them in jail for endangering lives.
Yeah,
because they pointed them and it hit on an aircraft because it blinded them.
It's just so weird. Why in the hell would anybody do that either? You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense either.
Well, I remember one man. He was showing his child the stars at night, you know, and he was pointing them out with one, and he accidentally hit on an aircraft, and they arrested him.
Jeez.
He wasn't doing it, you know, on purpose. He was,
right.
You know, but I don't know.
God.
The different phases that go through, just for them to take away another little right. These things seem, you know, not that important until you put them all together and go, God, what can I do?
Oh, here we go. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
There's a girls that brawl in a UK mall over cheap panties. Sorry, I'm switching.
No way.
I mean, what the hell? They're brawling.
They only had one pair?
I know. What the why in the hell would you... I don't know, man. It's just people... Why do people have to be assholes to each other? I'm so sick of that shit. I'm just so sick of it.
For petty stuff, yes.
Petty stuff. That's exactly right. It's petty and pointless. And if they're cheap underwear, can't you freaking wait, like, I don't know, man. Can't you wait till the next day, maybe Saturday, to go buy your cheap panties? I mean, come on. It's just so stupid. And did you see?
Bye.
Did you see the video over the flying robots start serving restaurants by the end of 2015?
I looked. I didn't watch it yet, but yeah, I seen the headline.
It shows them in China, and they bring out the bowl of rice and hover at the table, and oh look, she can get her rice right served to her without a waiter. It's ridiculous, man.
Well, I know they've had robots taking orders and serving, but I didn't see the flying ones.
Well, they're basically just drones.
Yeah.
It's basically a drone with a tabletop on it.
Okay. No spills, huh? Well,
no spills. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. And people think it's unique now, and it is, but think about the jobs that are going to be lost. The only jobs out there now, it seems to be, is in food and serving food. And when they take that away, then where do you go?
Yeah, when all the service jobs are gone, taken by the robots, that's it. You can't, I mean, there's not going to be any jobs out there for people. And then when, even doctors and nurses and stuff, because of all these apps, you know, that are getting put on phones, like Doctor, and you stick your finger on the little sensor to get in your phone, and then it'll take your pulse, temperature, all that shit next. I mean, that'll be the next big iPhone.
Well, you know, people keep thinking that if we could bring the corporations back here, everything would be okay. But think about it. There's no need for the assembly line anymore, which made America's middle class was the assembly line. Well, they don't need that anymore. Technology's changing all that.
Yeah.
And so even if they did bring the old companies back, it wouldn't do us any good because there's no need for them.
Right. They're going to be all automated. If they decide to leave, and that's exactly how it's going to work too, Zorie. That is a fantastic point that you just made, because if they do go, oh, okay, well, we'll come back here and make everything in the USA, they'll build new freaking plants and just use robotics. That's
right.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
And if you look, people, you can't really find the origin of where you buy in the USA. You really can't find that anywhere. And like they've gone to changing the labels from made in China to what is it? The initials for China's Republic.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so they both say the same thing, but in different ways. And you just bought in America doesn't really bring forth what it used to because it's not made. You know, a lot of companies did come back. I was researching this, and a lot of companies have come back because the cost of shipping, you know, and all that has really increased the cost.
Yes.
You know, and so, but a lot of companies went under just because of technology. So people have to start gearing their education towards the technology of today instead of the assembly line of yesterday.
Yeah, it's weird. The old industrial age is dead, and the new tech is taking over. It's really creepy, man.
I mean, the 3D printer is really making progress for what it used to put out. For one thing, the cost to put out one thing, with the 3D printer, you can put out thousands of things for the same cost now.
Yeah, it's true, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely true. It's going by really.
And that's probably why they're killing us off, because we're not going to be needed for anything because everything's automated. So why have all these people that don't have a job that we're supposed to take care of?
Useless eaters that beat people up over cheap freaking panties.
Yeah, God, that's crazy. You know, I don't know. And you know, the thing about like Ferguson, what came out is more people are going to be for the police force now. They're going to be allowing them bigger budgets and everything because no case was really proven there.
Yeah, I mean, this is the plan. This is the design.
Yeah.
Teach people to live in a militarized society, man.
Yeah. I seen this one article. One cop shot at a guy in Florida, and then another cop killed somebody in Florida. It says cop fires shots at Florida man rushing home during daughter's asthma attack. But I'll read it. A Jacksonville sheriff fired shots at an unarmed suspect during a traffic incident on Monday, but will not be placed on leave. Officer J.C. Garcia shot at Brian Dennison as the latter was rushing his daughter home in the midst of an asthma attack. According to the police record, Garcia spotted Dennison's vehicle speeding through a parking lot, then through a stop sign before nearly hitting another car and driving the wrong way on a one-way street. Dennison also drove away from a bank machine when Garcia pulled up behind, the officer claimed. Garcia, a 5-year police veteran, pursued Dennison's green Ford to an apartment complex where the officer opened fire, believing Dennison had a gun. First Coast News reported he diverted his shots once he realized Dennison was unarmed. Dennison then explained that he was rushing home to get his 6-year-old daughter her medication as she was in throes of an asthma attack. The mother of Dennison's daughter said Dennison held his hands outside the window of the car to prove he was unarmed. She added that her daughter was shaken by the incident. She just thought that they were going to shoot her, and she was afraid for her dad. Dickerson Cook, Dennison's cousin, overheard the shooting. I think he just shot to shoot, he said. There's really no reason. Cook said Dennison's daughter has really bad allergies. Jackson Sheriff's Office did not mention the shooting in its original police report. Imagine that. A separate investigation was opened to address the shots fired, according to Jackson's sheriff. JSO's cold case unit will handle the second incident report, according to the First Coast News. Yet, the report offers little explanation as to why Garcia opened fire. And on November 24th, 14, a JSO patrol officer conducted a traffic stop on a suspicious vehicle at 3900 Toledo Road. During the traffic stop, the officer fired his handgun one time. No one was injured. The cold case unit will follow up the investigation. Yeah, another internal investigation, The shooting was the first for Garcia, who has not been placed on leave. Being placed on leave is not automatic for every situation. It is up to the staff to determine what will be done. Each investigation is unique and investigated as such. Meanwhile, on Monday, Jacksonville police fatally shot a man resisting arrest following a traffic stop. Now, right here, we were watching yesterday some clips about, police brutality and just on regular ones. Every time, as soon as we're going to handcuff the guy out of the cop's mouth, every time, no matter what, they said, stop resisting. Even when people were just putting their hands behind their back, like being told, they still said stop resisting. Like that's an automatic.
Well, that's what that is their trained default position. They're ingraining that frame of mind into their heads.
Right. You just say stop resisting as soon as you get the handcuffs out.
Sure. Just like that kid. I just saw the video of the kid that got shot in the park, the 12-year-old kid in Cleveland. And you see the officer clearly in the video, opens the door, shoots the kid on the spot. As soon, 3 seconds after the dude opens the door, the kid's shot. Goes down, and then they retreat to a place, a position of safety, and while the kid's writhing there dying. It's ridiculous.
Too, did you hear every video I watched over the weekend? Since it happened, they only play the part of the call that says the boy's out there waving a gun around, and it doesn't say, and it's probably fake. They don't play that at all now.
Yeah, we remember that we went over that, and Jules played the clips.
Yeah, And same thing, they're gonna get away with it. They're gonna have
those officers are gonna be found, like, it'll be fine. You know what I mean?
Right.
Get right off. It's no big deal.
Mm-hmm. And you see, the kid does not pull the gun. He just puts his hand to his stomach. But, killing a 12-year-old, I just can't get over that. I can't. It just bothers me so.
Dude, I could disarm a 12-year-old.
You're right. I mean, it's just like when they shot that lady in the hallway when that guy called him to escort her off the property. Shot her in the head dead. He said they went freeze and then bang, bang, bang. You know? I don't know. And then with the Ferguson thing, so many people are on the police's side now. They got what they wanted out of it.
Well, I mean, it's all being drilled into our heads.
Mm-hmm. Police good, people bad.
Yup.
And their job is so dangerous. That's why so many innocent citizens are being killed.
Well, I think the cops need to get some more damn balls, myself.
Well, yeah, they're taught to be chickens. I mean, and then, you know what? We were also taking notice. Almost every cop was so overweight, huffing and puffing.
Yeah. Yup. I don't know. The mindset's got to change. That's the only way. But people are just so easily led. And it goes right back to all the stupid ass people behaving these ways on on the actual holiday. I mean, if people can be manipulated to beat each other up over freaking panties, then they can be manipulated any old way to be. I mean, we're pretty much toast as a society because people allow this crap to go on. If you don't I'm not going out shopping today. I mean, I might stop at a grocery store perhaps, but I mean, come on. I'm not lining up for 3 freaking weeks outside of a damn store.
Even when I used to shop, I didn't go to those.
And the reason why I keep bringing it up is because the cops are being manipulated in that manner too. It's all mind control. And with the cops, I don't know, man. People need to start freaking thinking for themselves. I'm not kidding, or else our entire existence is going to just go away.
Yeah, always what comes to mind when I think of police, their mentality is when they shot that lady lawyer at that protest, and then they were all laughing about it. It always comes right back to the front of my mind when I think about, why don't more people see that video when they shot a lawyer? It was a plastic bullet, but it still hurt her. And then their captain goes, I don't know who got that lady in the red, but good for you. And they were all laughing and cheering about it. That's their mentality when one of us get hurt.
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, this is what they're trying to do. All right, let's change gears here. All right,
you got it.
Guess what? We got somebody that just called in.
All right.
How you doing, Hammy?
Good morning. How are you?
Awesome. Back up from the mic a little bit. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. I hope you are all at some point going to help support the economy today and go out and buy some slave-made Chinese goods.
I think I'll pass. Thank you.
Come on, we need it. We're dying here.
Oh my God!
This is Black Friday. This is when the profits turn over for us.
We need more useless stuff in our houses. That's what we do. We need.
You need more plastic imported Chinese crap.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, you know one thing, my friend, she's seen it, and she said it was really pretty. But they have these packages out now to wrap 2 presents and really bows and all this for $10. You can't even package your own Christmas packages anymore. They have kits for you to do it.
Well, soon there's going to be robots doing it for you.
That's true.
Man. Unbelievable. How are you? How was your Thanksgiving, Hammy?
I slept. I took like a long nap.
Right.
After you ate?
No, I didn't go anywhere. I don't have any family around here, so I made a little bit of food, and I made some extra for the doggies, and I took a nap.
Right on, man.
I woke up at about 9 p.m. and went back to bed at about 1.
Cool. That's all right.
Yeah,
I was in bed at 9:30. But I did do one thing that I've never done before. My friends have a basketball hoop, and my being 5 foot, I've never really played basketball. I made 4 shots, over with my back to the board. 4 shots. I made them. Everybody was in shock, including me.
Did you throw it over the back of your head?
Yeah.
And without looking at it, that's cool as hell.
That I said, well, then I can play basketball. I just have to play backwards.
That's funny. That's fun. That's fun. And
we had so much fun. We played hide and seek. All the adults and the kids, because they have a great big field with trees and all this. It was one of the best Thanksgivings I've had in a long time.
Oh, that's totally awesome.
Seeing people I haven't seen in a long time, and they had babies, and I'm going, oh my God, how old am I? These kids, I seen them when they were babies, and now they're walking in with babies.
Yeah, isn't that nuts?
Oh, man.
Well, I'll just say this. I ate very, very cleanly last night, and I'm very proud of myself. Nice clean turkey. It was, totally toxic
fed. Yeah.
And they didn't feed it any GMO corn or nothing, so it was GMO-free bird. It was awesome.
It does, too.
I feel
it has
really
a different
bad now.
Oh!
What?
I feel horrible because what I made yesterday was frozen burritos out of a bag.
Right. Damn, man, I'm sorry.
Thank you to the Deli Mix Corporation.
Right.
I know these friends of mine, her husband wanted to deep fry his turkey. It was a total disaster. They ended up having pizza.
Wow, a lot of people said
that's a shame. That's a shame because a deep fried turkey is awesome.
Right, but the turkey was too big for the pot, and so he tried doing parts of it, and it just turned out a disaster. They finally turned off the deep fryer and called it pizza.
Wow.
Oh, that's a shame.
I know.
Doggy's got some goodness out of it.
Yeah. I don't know. They might have cut it up, today or whatever, and cooked it. But
all right. So you were talking about oil stuff in the chat room, and there is some crap that's going on right now that really, really needs to be addressed and talked about in that realm. So, what were you saying there?
Well, usually in an economy, when the price of oil drops, that's a stimulator for the economy.
Yeah.
People now have extra money to go out and do this and buy this, and people will invest in their business or expand their business or take profit or exactly whatever. And it always comes back. The money always comes back into the system. Well, I think right now our economy is so broken that this drop in fuel prices is actually going to create problems because we don't make anything else here.
Right.
All we make is frack oil. And, there's not a whole big consumer call for, Tomahawk missiles and Patriot missile batteries. And really, rap music hasn't become, a staple of the stock market. There's no blue-chip rap music company out there. So
right.
We don't have anything.
We don't.
That's it. We take away the oil, and that's all we got. And my area is not experiencing the downturn that the rest of the country's hitting because we are oil. That's what we do here. I mean, we crack the earth and pollute the ground better than anybody else.
Something to be real proud of.
hey, we do it bigger and better than anybody else. But it's I'm starting to see guys who are not getting 75 hours of overtime a week anymore. Now they're doing their 40, and that's it. I mean, and at least they're still doing their 40 hours, but these guys have lifestyles that depend on that overtime. And something I've noticed is, well, in the last couple of years, the oil boom really has taken off here. And there's guys that, let's just be kind and call them illiterate. but they're making $40 an hour. And when an illiterate guy makes $40 an hour, the economy's there's something going right for them in that sector of the economy.
Right.
The problem is these guys who make $40 an hour and are illiterate, they're poor for a reason because they act like poor people. And you can drive by many of in my town, many of the little rental houses or even some of the little crappy apartments that are here, and there's 3 brand new trucks in front of a rental house.
Wow.
I've noticed that too. Brand new cars. How do they get the money?
That's something that's really scary because like some of these aren't, you can't get into a brand new truck right now for less than $40,000. I mean, I guess you could get like a stripper base model and you're probably in it maybe 20-something thousand, but nobody buys that truck.
Sure.
The only people that buy that truck is like the fleets or something. Everybody else, buys a big pimped out truck. And I've got several friends who've bought trucks in the last 6 months that are in excess of $70,000, which blows my mind.
Well, even here, and this is a small community, we were commenting on, where do all these people get the money for all these new cars when we know we're in poverty level?
Well, this is what I'm getting at. All these guys have these trucks that are $70,000, and they have, they're decent jobs. They work somewhere in the oil field or they do something like that, and they make this money, but they walk out of the GM dealership in 2 hours, or actually they don't walk out, they drive out in their great big huge brand new 4x4 diesel Chevy, and they've spent $70,000 on it, and they're on the hook to pay that back for 6-7 years maybe. Some of them who've got crappy credit, 8 years. But those same guys could not get that same amount of money financed at $70,000 and turn it around and buy a piece of property with it or a house.
I know.
That's a big problem. There's something wrong. The amounts are the same. The 75 for a truck, 75 for a house. You can get the truck on 8 years, but you have to put on the special knee pads to go out and get yourself home financing for 70 or 30
Sure,
years.
absolutely.
No kidding. Yeah, and
what's wrong with this picture?
When I go down to the city,
better buy Stop Ramen.
When I go down to the city, it amazes me how many people are driving these big 4-wheel drive trucks that have never seen a dirt road ever. It's all for show. A lot of it down there.
Else that I'm noticing is, I live in an area that's, I would definitely say that 40% of the area is on some kind of assistance, either, welfare or food stamps or free medical or gas card or phone card or whatever. They get something free from the government every month. And I would say, other than 40%, almost all of them get, multiple benefits.
Now, how can they get benefits when they can afford to buy a truck like that? I don't understand it.
A truck, they consider that a necessity anymore. A vehicle is a necessity. I mean, there ain't no bus in my area. There's no public transport, and straight up honest, if I need a pair of dark socks, I'm a 42-mile round trip.
Yeah.
But a $77,000 vehicle, when you could, there's lots of used vehicles out there. So I thought that you could only own or get so much money before you could get assistance. That's not true no more?
There's a lot of ways around the system. I mean, I know guys who are in the oil industry, and they're making great money, and their wife, girlfriend, baby mama, whatever, is getting food stamps and this and that. And
sure.
1 in 5 families in this country are on food stamps. That is scary.
Oh yeah. Well, let's take a breakdown of the numbers, right? There's 330 million people in the United States. Okay, and we're going to say straight off the top, 30 million of them are illegal aliens.
Straight up the top. I'd even go as far as to say 60, dude.
It may be because those numbers there's no real hard science behind the numbers. It's just how many did.
Well, because there's so many illegal, how can you count them?
They're not going to stand up and say, oh yeah, I came in here illegally, let me sign the paper. But you've got that, all right, so that leaves you with 300 million. Now you've got, what's the population, the percentage of the population that's under 16?
Good question.
I don't know.
I dare say it's 20 to 25%.
Okay.
All right. What's the population that is over 50?
Ooh, that's high.
Over 60. and I'm going to use it's not a retirement age, but when you're over 60, number one, you're not the prime.
You're not hireable.
Well, it's not that you're not hireable, but you're not the prime market that they're trying to sell things to. You're not the predominant demographic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So now you're left with, I don't know, 50% of the population of working age. Not that has a job, but of working age.
Right.
How many of those in the working age area have jobs? That's when you come into the realization that our unemployment is 7%. Well, that's just bullshit.
Adults are moving back in with their parents. You know, you go to college, you get this degree, and then you move back in with your parents.
Oh,
because you can't get a job.
But then there's also on the other side, you see kids who are not going to go to college. They've had their child at 16, 17, 18, and now their parents are grandparents, but they're really parents because that 17, 18-year-old kid still wants to go out and party, doesn't have the...
That's right.
Or is in prison.
Or is in prison, exactly. Mommy and Daddy never put the foot down and said, look, you make a baby, it's time for you to pay for it.
That's correct.
There's so many kids being raised by their grandparents now. It's appalling because a lot of it is because of the prison industry. I don't know how many, almost every kid I know, their parents have been in prison or are in prison.
The people that own the house that I'm sitting in right now have a situation like that. I mean, it's ridiculous. There's so many, and then what are these kids doing? They're sitting in their parents' basement playing video games with the next door neighbor. You know what I mean? It's
and there's just not a lot of jobs out there for the video game playing kids. And I mean, there's hardly any jobs for the kids that actually make video games. There's not a whole lot of jobs for kids that play video games.
No, not at all.
Well, like I was saying earlier, though, we've lost the production line which made the middle class in this country. It's no longer there.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. I mean, my area's got manufacturing still, just because you can do things with chemicals in this area you can't do with any other area. You know, like as in dump them on the ground or something like that. So we still have some manufacturing, but what kind of manufacturing is it? It's plastics. It's petrochemicals.
Right.
Your grocery bag. There's probably a 50% chance that your grocery bag was made right here. The T-shirt bag that says "Thank you for shopping at Walmart."
Yeah,
we just banned all plastic bags in California.
Well, thanks a lot. Now we're gonna have a bunch of unemployed sons of bitches around here.
Yeah, see, there's more of that greeny weeny crap coming to play.
Yeah,
green is the new red.
Green. Hey, that's a good. I want a T-shirt that says that. Damn it.
Well, the business to get into now in California is, and I've bought 4 of them so far, is the grocery bags that you can push them back in this little bag, and I have them connected together, but they're running $15 each, and they're homemade. It's crazy because plastic, they can't buy anymore. They can only use up their stock that they have. And a lot of stores now, if you do have to use their plastic, they charge you for the bag.
Charge you a nickel or something for the bag, which is, by the way, that's an incredible markup because the price of those bags, comes out to be like manufacturing costs. Like you make a half a case for a nickel.
Yes.
There's really less plastic in a thing of plastic bags in a case of plastic bags than would be in a pair of sunglasses.
Yeah,
wow. See?
And there are scams out there. Like one of my favorites that pisses me off, because I had a friend that worked for HP computers, and is the ink. You can buy a new printer for less than you can buy the ink to replace it. And each of those packages of ink, they only cost $2 to put out.
Well, and not only the ink, but what about once you've hit your magic predetermined number in the printer, because the printer keeps track of how many copies you've made, and it may the machine may actually be operating, no mechanical issues, but you've hit that magic number. Now the printer locks up and it's broken.
As soon as the warranty goes out. My printers, they go out as soon as the warranty's gone.
There's a website called ifixit.com, and and it actually gives you reset codes for that kind of stuff.
Wow. Hey, man, iFixit.com. I'm going to freaking go there right this second.
There's some interesting stuff on that website.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, things aren't made to last.
Now you fix that. Now you fix that item. Now that kid who works at Walmart or Best Buy or whatever, he's not going to have you as a customer.
In the long run, no matter what you do.
What is that called at Best Buy? They're called Geek Squad or something like that. You're going to put a Geek Squad out of a job.
You're going to put another geek back in the basement playing Nintendo.
Right, there you go. Unless you go to work for Bill Gates.
Oh God. Yeah, it's gonna be a rough ride, everybody. And I always keep thinking the way when they're ready and all set up for it, they're gonna cut off those food stamp cards. One day you're going to go and they're going to go to the store and they're no longer going to be taken. That's when you're going to see all hell break loose.
That's the end game right there.
Yeah.
Right, there's no money in turning off them food stamp cards because two great big huge corporations that are actually engines of the economy right now depend on the food stamps. And
right. But I mean, when they're ready, when they're all in position.
But they're going to turn off everything at that time.
Yeah. They're not going to intervene for like 2, maybe 3 weeks and let everything burn down pretty good.
That's when you're going to see rioting and people
then they're
doing ungodly things to each other.
Right, exactly.
People
especially
do ungodly things just to get a tablet for $39 at Walmart.
Dude, they were fighting in the UK over some cheap ass panties. I mean, they don't
even have Thanksgiving in the UK.
Exactly.
They don't celebrate it.
Exactly. What the hell is this bullshit mind control going on, man? It's weird shit.
Look at 9/11. What was his message out to the people? Go shopping.
Right. I remember that completely.
Yeah,
I totally remember that. If you're a good American, you'll help support the economy.
Yeah.
Right. So you'll
buy a washing machine.
Bye.
And Dick Cheney said, quit your job and sell on eBay. Buy and sell things on eBay. He said that stuff around that time too. You remember that?
Well, how about Pelosi saying that with Obamacare you won't have to work. You can follow your dream to be an artist. You can quit your job and go do what you wanted to do.
Totally need more artists.
This is it. Yeah, right. More artists.
I can't believe that idiot got. I mean, I can't even listen to her say 10 sentences without plugging my ears. That woman is a blithering idiot.
Oh my God, dude! The People's Republic of Ann Arbor is like so full of artists. It just and pretentious assholes.
Okay, so let's ask the horrible question: what's the ratio in the People's Republic of Ann Arbor of people on public assistance to the trust fund children?
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's true.
Huge, dude. Yeah,
the Trustafarians are kind of an issue because they pretend to be like social justice warriors, right? There's no, it's everybody's equal and blah blah blah. This doesn't work out.
There's money coming in.
Right. Their tune would change as soon as Daddy's investment in Hunt Oil dries up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or the banks close.
Or they're also the same people who you drive a large American truck that gets horrible gas mileage, but at the same time, they've got 500 electronic items made in China.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we deal with idiots on every level, I think. I mean,
it's like, why is the mind control so intense? The stupidity. It's
television.
Like breeding. Yeah, television's a big deal. But they're breeding the stupidity in people and people. It's so simple. The answer
Can you play clips?
So simple. No,
we can't.
That's why we always are reading stories. Shit, yeah.
I got a song out there. Maybe you can find it and drop it in chat because I am not available.
What is it?
It's a song called Television, Drug of the Nation.
It's called what?
Television, Drug of the Nation.
Okay.
And it's an old song. It's an old song. Like,
is it Gil Scott-Heron?
No, it's not. It's Disposable Heroes of Hypocrisy.
Oh,
but they do stuff. They've taken Gil Scott-Heron stuff and like set it to music, and it's actually pretty good. But that song totally like lays it right out. And unfortunately, it was like, well, it was ignored and it got no play. And I think its time is gone now because, well, television's dying.
Well, what's that again? Television drug.
Yeah, because people are sitting there with their iPhones.
Okay.
Yeah,
check it out. It's actually a good song too.
No matter how poor people are, they have a TV in every room, and they even have it on when they're not watching it. So
you want to see something else that's interesting? Take a drive through your neighborhood, and go by where the poor people live, and do it on trash day, and notice how the poor people, for some reason, always have a hell of a lot more trash than everybody else.
Because of what? Buying cheap stuff and then just throwing it away?
I think it may be maybe one of the particles of poverty is that you end up buying crap. You end up buying non-lifetime crap, definitely. Well, I mean, why would you buy the $89 boots when you've got these boots from Walmart that are $29? They'll do you fine for 3 months, and in 3 months you'll have another $20.
Well, what gets me is how did all these young people have these really expensive iPhones and I mean, I know that people are poor here. How do they?
Their parents buy it for them for Christmas. I just sunk $80 into a pair of Arctic Mickey boots, and they're on their way in the mail right now.
G.I. Joe Mickey boots?
Damn right, I got it from the military surplus.
Which one?
What was it? I'd have to find it. It's pretty cool. They got a good clearance cave, man. I'd have to find it though.
I bought a watch we were talking about a couple of days ago, where it's a video and it's just a watch. And we were talking about. I go, I'm getting one. I bought one that day, and I'm curious to see how well it's gonna video. But it's a watch, and you can't tell. How
much do you think that watch is, just off the top of your head?
Well, I know it was $22.99 off of
$22.99.
Yep.
It's Coleman.
I wonder how many cops you could outfit it.
Right. Exactly.
How many what?
How many cops you could outfit like that? On the amount that it takes to pay out one lawsuit.
Yeah.
New York City, with Mayor Bloomberg and that wonderful drop in crime, something they don't talk about is over the last 10 years, they've paid out more than $500 million, like money we give to another nation, $500 million.
Yeah.
In
settlements. Well, you know what got me up in Washington, where they had decided to have all the cops wear cameras on their on their uniform. Now they don't want to because they're saying the citizens want to be able to watch the videos. That's the reasoning to drop the program. They said
I also heard that it would use too much data.
Oh, well, they say it would overwork their staff because their staff has to be giving this information to prosecutors. But because the citizens want them to wear them, they're going to drop it. They're not going to do the program.
Honestly, I don't even see that the citizen cams being the answer to the question. I think the only answer to the police brutality is to make it where New York City doesn't pay out over $500 million in 10 years. It would have been over $500 million in 10 years coming from dirty fucking cops.
Well, what I think, like what Jill said, is the best idea there is to make police and stuff is make them buy liability insurance. So we're not
the best solution.
Right. Or even if they don't buy liability insurance, that money comes straight out of their retirement fund.
Absolutely.
And then when that lawsuit depletes his retirement fund, because one lawsuit will deplete that cop's retirement fund, the money starts coming out of the general officer's fund for that area.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, nothing is going to stop young Jimmy Law, who's fresh out of the academy, 6 weeks behind a badge and an itchy trigger finger on that gun. Nothing going to stop him from doing it when old Officer Friendly behind him, who's got 25 years on the force, says, there ain't no way you're ruining my bass boat.
Absolutely. That will solve this problem overnight. So we just
either one of the two, you know. I mean, because if it hits their pocketbook, they're going to behave.
Right. So that's the solution that we've got here on UCY. So, all right, dude, it's Coleman's military supply. Military surplus.
Coleman's is a little bit pricey.
Really? Well, I thought $80 was pretty good for those boots.
I think $80 is kind of pricey on them things.
Oh.
I go to the
I want to say I've seen them for $30, but then I may be wrong, and then that would put you into I overpaid $50.
Well, you go to a lot of gun shows, and during the summertime, you may have seen those being sold for $30 at a gun show because they're pretty.
It may have changed due to the beautiful weather that you are about to experience in the coldest.
Yeah.
All right, can we switch gears again, guys? Because we kind of got off the topic that I kind of wanted to bring up. That you brought up in the chat room. And I want to quickly read this real quick. So here we go. We're going to switch gears here. It says New York oil drives to 4-year low under $70 a barrel after OPEC. So, and this is out of London. Oil prices sank to a fresh 4-year lows on Thursday, with New York crude tumbling below $70 after the OPEC oil cartel held its collective output ceiling. See, it's artificial. Here we go, guys. At about 16:10 Greenwich Mean Time, West Texas Intermediate for January delivery struck $69.11 per barrel, last seen on May 25th, 2010. Brent Star C crude for January hit $72.74 at a level last witnessed on July 7th, 2010. So oil prices are going low. I think they're trying to destabilize the ruble by doing this.
This is also Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia is extremely threatened.
Bingo! Ding, 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 ding. You hit it right on the head.
Saudi Arabia knows that the target price for the United States is $75 a barrel.
Yeah.
That's what American manufacturers have to make a profit on oil.
Yep, and now
the Saudis, they're sitting on a whole bunch of money. They can go 3 years and not make any money, and it's not going to bother them.
Hell yeah, it won't even touch them.
So it's not only a plan to squeeze Putin, because I don't know exactly what Putin's numbers are. I know it's got to be above $50 a barrel for his target number is, but I'm sure it's below 70.
Right.
I think Putin's number it may be in the high 60s. American numbers got to be 75 to 80 to make money. Here's the crazy thing: you want to know how much money they make out of a barrel of oil? Barrel of oil is 42 gallons. It's not 55 gallons. It's 42 gallons. Guess how much they make off of each barrel of oil?
I'd say 98% profit.
Oh, it's beyond that. Yeah, it's way beyond that. They make like $20,000 out of a barrel of oil.
See, it's the same crap with diamonds.
Wow, holy!
Yeah, they make about $20,000 profit per barrel of oil comes out of the ground. You know, when it's broken down into its components. You know, fuel, oils, polymer stuff, even road tar. You know,
yeah, exactly.
You can look. There's like a breakdown as to like what comes out of each barrel of oil, and it's like only less than 12 gallons of it is actually fuel. The rest of it is like oils for lubrication and oil for manufacturing and polymer process stuff.
Right. Here we go. They're absolutely starting to, like, the Russians are going to be snapping back here with all this, and so now OPEC is going to.
I think the Russians have snapped back because this morning the Russians stopped export of coal to the Ukraine.
Oh, see, there we go. And now it's just going to escalate from here, and now they're going to blame, each other's economy tipping on this, and they're totally setting this up. You can see it, and they're pulling the rug on the economy right now with all this.
Remember that the Japanese supposedly invaded Pearl Harbor or attacked Pearl Harbor because we were messing with their oil supplies.
Oh, see, I don't remember that. That's the first I've heard of that.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why they went to war with us, was because we were interrupting their oil supplies and supplies of raw materials.
That makes total sense. That absolutely makes sense.
It just, I mean, like right now, I personally am not a fan of Wall Street because I kind of find Wall Street to be a contrarian indicator of the nation's health, right? I mean, Wall Street went up when Sears laid off 20,000 people and closed 500 stores. Wall Street hit a new high that day.
Yeah, exactly. Because this is what they're banking on.
Right. They profit from the pain and the demise of the American people.
Right. While the normal average everyday consumer invests their hard-earned money into this casino, they invest their money in all the put options which bet against the hedges, and that's when everything else crashes. They make all kinds of bank, just like they did in 29. It's the same shit happening again.
Did anybody see? I think it was some researchers from California who had been doing some time in someplace in Africa with monkeys, and they had introduced the concept of money to monkeys, and the monkeys actually grasped it. I don't know if they were like actual just monkeys, or they were, I don't know, some sort of like ape or something like that, some sort of primate. But
I've seen some of that.
The monkeys actually grasped the concept of money, and some of them became prostitutes. Some of them became thieves. Some of them became hoarders. Some of them gained a lot of weight.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
I thought it was, and I was just waiting for like the next line that said, and then some monkeys came up with a collateralized debt obligation.
Right? That's true, man.
I'll give you 3 bananas today. You pay me back 4 tomorrow.
That's right.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Oh my!
Compound banana interest. Yeah.
Banana interest.
They're gonna get monkey health care soon.
It's the banana.
Yeah,
it's the Banana Republic.
Ah, there you go.
That's it right there. Holy crap. Well, okay. I mean, seriously, I just want to read this. It's not that long, and it's right to what we're talking about. It says, OPEC policy on crude production will ensure a crash in the U.S. shale industry, a Russian oil tycoon said. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries kept output targets unchanged at a meeting in Vienna today, even after this year's slump in the oil prices caused by surging supply from the U.S. shale fields. American producers risk becoming victims of their own success. At today's prices, just over $70 a barrel, drilling is close to becoming unprofitable for some explorers. Leonid Vindun, vice president and local and board member at OAO Lukoil, said in an interview in London in 2016, when OPEC completes this objective of cleaning up the American marginal market, the oil price will start growing again, said Vindun, who's made a fortune in more than $4 billion in the oil business. According to data compiled by Bloomberg, the shale boom is on par with the dot-com boom. The strong players will remain, the weak ones will vanish. So it's the same thing. It's this artificial inflation. That dot-com thing was a complete artificial bubble that these assholes inflated. So they're starting to do the same thing, only on the downside with oil and shale and shit like that. So they're literally pulling the rug out from under us right now. It's like they pulled the trigger on all this shit to go down. So this is like messed up right here. And then Saudi Arabia, it says, while some OPEC countries, including Venezuela, pushed for a reduction in output quotas at today's meeting, Saudi Arabia, the group's dominant member, argued for the status quo. In Russia, where Lukoil is the second largest producer behind state-run OAO, Rosneft, the industry is much less exposed to the oil slump, Feeden said. Companies are protected by the lower costs and the slide in the ruble that lessens the impact of falling prices in local currency terms, he said. So this is just so obvious to me, man. I just can't. They're pulling the trigger on all this.
Quick, it's time for a celebrity panty scandal.
There you go. Absolutely.
We need a good pop star to have no panties getting out of a truck.
Yeah, like, what's her name? Britney Spears, wasn't it?
Whichever one. Let's get one that's hotter and more popular than Britney Spears right now. You know that there's guys sitting in a room having this exact discussion right now. Oh, shit, this information's getting big. Which one of our paid whores can we have flash her coochie?
Yeah, exactly.
That's it, man.
Because people love gossip.
They certainly do.
Well, it cracks me up when I hear people in the store talking about celebrities as if they're their friends or something. You know, talking about celebrities' personal life or their breakup. Like if they're close, intimate friends. It's just, they live in a fantasy world. They live through their idols. It's weird.
Well, and it's not just people in the grocery store, because that almost implies women. There's plenty of guys that do the same thing. Look at all the guys that they wear nothing but Dallas Cowboys clothes. They live, breathe, and die. If the Cowboys have a bad game, their wife goes to work tomorrow at the gas station with a black eye.
Right. It's true.
And on their vehicles, they always have all these stickers and helmet stickers, and it's a sickness in this country.
You know, back in the day, they should have, like, instead of having like religion, they should have just had football as the religion.
That's funny as hell. It's true though. It's I don't know. It's all part of just not paying attention to what the hell's going on. You know, it's another little dog and pony show. I mean, I think me and Charlie talked about it yesterday. And you said that thing in the chat room about it. That was funny as hell. Did you hear me like bring that up yesterday?
I don't remember what I said.
Oh, you said something about football's like, I don't know, 33% like real action, and then like the rest.
Oh yeah. It's
faggot bash.
It's 11% like action, like 11% actual like movement on the field, and then it's like 3.5 hours of like ass slapping, and beer commercials, and I'm totally buying this truck as soon as I pay for my kid's liver transplant and all that.
Exactly.
What year did sports really like take off as this big thing? Because like in the 1930s or whatever, they are at one point they never would have imagined people would be paying people to play a game.
Well, look at Rome.
I remember first
Caesar.
Player I heard. Well, look at the money that they get. Yeah, I mean, it's been on, like you've been saying, since Caesar and throwing Christians to the lions and gladiator fights and free bread and all that. But look when players started making $1 million a year.
Yeah, when was that about?
I would say that was in the mid 90s, the mid to late 90s, like 96, 97. I think that's when they started making $1 million a year.
Or more.
I used to watch football. I used to watch football back then, and I was really excited that John Elway, quarterback for the Denver Broncos, I think he got a $2 million a year contract, and then like he had that for like 36 hours as the highest paid employee in the NFL, and then some running back from like Tampa Bay got like $2.5 million.
For playing a game.
Yeah. But is it really playing a game, or is it providing the necessary distraction?
Yeah.
That's what I've always said. Sports is the biggest distraction we have in this country. We'd rather know what our football team's doing than what our government's doing.
Right. That's part of the problem. And then going shopping on Thanksgiving and fighting over Barbie dolls is
I'll tell you what,
the new norm.
I wish I was Black Friday shopping right now in Colorado, because yesterday, it's no longer a fear porn story. Now it's kind of a cute dog story. They're talking about the cannabis sales in Colorado and how some of these cannabis shops in Colorado are having dollar doobie sales. And think of what could happen if people had dollar doobies. And I'm like, what could happen? I'll take $12 doobies, please.
Hell yeah. Well, man, that's it. So now we're going to see in these states that have, decriminalized it, what's going to happen when the market's flooded with it. Because, but at least in Amsterdam, there was some, control over,
you mean tax-wise?
Huh?
You mean tax-wise?
No, just flooding the market with weed. Just what's gonna happen.
What do you see the downside as having marijuana, weed, cannabis, dab, whatever you got it? What do you see the downside of that being everywhere?
I really don't personally.
Honest to God, neither do I. You ever been to
I can tell you.
Tell me.
In California, we were the first, right, for medical marijuana. And then we voted it in. But ever since then, they have regulated it to where you can't get it. You can't grow it. They've closed all our dispensaries. They now have changed it so that you cannot grow it in your house or in your yard. You have to build a separate building that would cost you $12,000 to build in order to grow 6 plants. And now the illegal marijuana is what's growing now. They've taken away. It's legal, but yet they've taken every means for us to have it away. So it's legal, but there's no way in hell most people can even grow it legally.
Well, in Colorado, it's not that way at all. They're
just starting out.
Right.
But Colorado has its own problems because the minute that Colorado legalized for recreational use, the price of real estate went up like 20% that day.
You're right, too.
I'm not joking because I looked. I was like, okay, well, this is it. Let's look and see what I can get for, let's say $30,000. $30,000, I was getting 3 acres in the middle of goddamn nowhere, Pueblo, Colorado, that had no water.
Wow.
Yeah, and another thing too. Now they're going to be testing for marijuana, and then they'll get them for not DUI, but weed UI, and they're going to be sending them off to prison.
Weed UI.
That's a very interesting point because they keep pushing the stat in Colorado that the amount of DUIs have gone down, but I think they're referring to the alcohol DUIs.
Yeah, they are, but now they're saying, they'll have to take blood to see how long it had been since you had been smoking it. But they're starting. I'm telling you, California was the first. Now we can't hardly even do it legally. And they're just starting there. They're going to come up with a lot of problems with it so they can still arrest people so that the prison industry can keep making their $9 billion a year.
Right.
I think that's the big obstacle right to it is there's a lot of money. I mean, let's just take a look at Ferguson, and you figure each one of those cops had a half a car. Let's just say 2 cops per car. Each one of those cops had a whole bunch of equipment on that they don't normally wear. Riot boots, riot pads, shields, helmets, more weapons, and all that kind of stuff. What do you think that comes out to be per guy? Per cop?
A shitload.
10,000?
Yeah.
12,000? 15,000?
Easy.
Easy. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's say 15,000. How many Xboxes and LCD TVs could you have bought for that? And I'm not saying that this is the answer, but there would have been a whole hell of a lot less burnt down buildings if they just put out a bunch of, free LCD TVs, cartons of menthol, some Xboxes, Go home, don't break nothing. Take your free shit, go. Don't break nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I've seen one store owner that they burned her store to the ground. She's got people have donated $200,000 to her to rebuild.
The store that the kid stole or I shouldn't say kid, the 6'4", 290-pound, 19-year-old boy. That guy's store got broken into. The store he stole from right before he got shot.
Yeah, dude, I saw the footage of that, and some fucker was like there with some kerosene or whatever, and
it was lighter
fluid. It was lighter fluid or whatever, and he was like trying to set the store on fire, and then a woman came by and put it out with a gallon of milk.
Right, that's cool.
They kept showing that shit on Fox over and over and over and over, and it's just oh, look at how bad the blacks are.
We know the media is completely complicit.
Totally.
I mean, they push this. I mean, remember that Nancy Grace said that told everybody that George Zimmerman called Trayvon a coon right before he shot him or something like that. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I live in probably, it's not the most racist part of Texas, but it's pretty damn close. The only people that say coon are like 85 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a term of past.
What a lying sack of shit she is. Oh my God, I hate her.
So, I mean, the media is the problem. I mean, it's... all right.
Well, it's just like that 12-year-old that got shot.
Yeah.
The news keeps playing the 9/11 call, and they cut out the part where the guy said it's probably a fake gun. He said that twice, but not one of the news people.
He said it 3 times, yeah, and I'll agree with you. The news I've seen does not show that. They said, yeah, he's pointing a gun at people. They don't play the part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jules
so
played
right
those clips. They're all on Pickmine.
Yep. And the major public, they all think that the cops were right because the kid pointed a gun at him. But now the question is, did the dispatcher tell them that the guy said it was a fake gun? We just heard the call, but we don't know yet. They seem to be holding that back.
I don't have much respect for the machine of authority. I don't have much respect, especially for dispatchers. I used to work with them. I know exactly what they do. 30% of what they do is getting food.
Oh, really?
They just eat. Usually a comm room is fairly large, and they say it's for the equipment. No, it's because the people who work in there are like 600 pounds.
Well, you know what? I got all the radio transmissions during Sandy Hook, and it was amazing. I mean, I listened to every one of them, and I mean, these cops were idiots. They didn't even know where the elementary school was. They didn't know what was going on. They were, it was mass confusion. I mean, I'm surprised any of them made it there.
It's really interesting listening to those scanner, especially live scanner.
We have one here on our police. We get to hear them all on our computer if we want.
Yeah, we could get that here. I mean, there's several different apps you can use. Like Broadcastify is good. Radio Scanner's another one that's out there. But I listen to the
Radio Scanner.
I listened to the scanner on the night of everything in Ferguson, and I actually was listening to 3. It was kind of neat because I know how to do that. I can like isolate voices and tell who goes where with that kind of stuff. So for me, it was a little bit of like going back in time. But those guys were scared. They were absolutely scared. You could hear the fear in their voices.
Wow.
And you could hear the confusion. And just as somebody who's an uninterested party in it, because I don't live in Missouri, I'm never going to Missouri. I have no interest in that area. They were completely understaffed.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Because they had arrested people throughout the night, and they tried sticking to 10 codes, and then it was just too much confusion, and there wasn't room for the 10 codes. And they kept calling for conveyance, which is transport, which is somebody to pick up guys and take them to jail.
Sure.
Yeah, in Sandy Hook, these guys were just so confused. They were going the wrong way. They didn't know, and then they didn't know what was going on. And, I mean, this went on for a long time. I mean, it was crazy going, oh, is there a shooter? A half hour into it. It was mass confusion. I was just going, wow.
Obviously, though, the cops, especially ones that I talk to, they don't want to walk around and, be on, like, frontline in the riots. They don't want to go run around confiscating guns of Americans. They want
to go get money off the road.
Let me ask you a question about these cops that you talk to, the ones that don't want to confiscate guns and don't want to do any of this stuff. They've been there for a while, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I live in a tiny town, therefore we get a really abnormally large number of brand new cops. Guys that are just starting out and, getting a couple years of experience or a couple months of experience so they can go on and have fun in another town.
Sure.
Our guys are all under 25, and I'm telling you, it's a town of 1,500 people. We don't have a stoplight. If you wear socks with when you're wearing shorts, people know you're from out of town.
Right.
Our cops dress like they got, gift cards to like Gall's catalog or something. They are in every bit of tactical gear you can see. They're wearing combat pants. They're not wearing cop slacks.
Right.
It's combat boots. It's not cop shoes.
Right.
It's the vest with the plate carrier vest with God knows how many pockets on it. It's the taser. It's the handgun. It's the backup handgun you can see. It's the shotgun and the AR-15, and it's actually not an AR-15. It's surplus M16 in the truck or in the car. This is a town of 1,500 people. We have one bar.
Jeez, man. Same with us. It's the same.
Militarizing them all.
And what I'm getting at is these guys are all young, and they're not there to protect and serve like the older cops that you see that don't want to create the problem or don't want to confiscate guns. These guys want to.
Yeah.
They're
like hot back. They're hot. They're hot and ready. Back from like overseas. Most of them are soldiers. Because really, the only jobs those guys can get is in the security agencies. You know what I mean?
Look at how many. I'm curious how many cities took to protect and serve off their police cars. I've noticed a lot of them that used to have it, like ours. I got a hold of the paper and I said, I want to know why they took that off of all our police cars. It used to say to protect and serve. Now it only says police is their job not to protect and serve anymore. It took her almost 3 weeks to get an answer from the chief, and the answer they got was stupid. They took it off because LA's cars have that on there, and they didn't want to copy them. And I just went, that doesn't wash. Yeah.
Copyright.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a joke.
Yeah, now we know that is not their job to protect and serve. Their job, and their only job, is to enforce the law, period.
Yeah, well, that doesn't happen because...
they make up their laws.
I'll tell you what, our chief of police, not current and not the one passed and not the one passed before that, but a couple cops back, he was investigated by the FBI because he got a kid, and he was like, I don't know, 15 or 16 years old. Little punk-ass kid. I probably would have done the same to the kid. But he caught him and took him basically into his office in City Hall and handcuffed him to a chair and tasered him until he made him tell where all the gas cans and batteries he'd been stealing was at.
Wow.
That sounds goofy, but this is a fishing town. Like it's built on shrimping and oystering and crabbing. You steal somebody's battery or somebody's gas can, you've just fucked with their life.
Yeah. Yeah, but tying him down and tasering him, man, that's...
He handcuffed him. Yeah, he tasered him. And everybody got their stuff back. Nobody got a problem.
Everybody got their stuff back.
Nobody has a problem with Roger. Roger's cool. I mean, to this day, I see Roger in like at the Mexican restaurant or gas station. I say, hey, what's up? If I see him at the restaurant, I usually buy him a cup of coffee or pay for his coffee or whatever.
Oh, right.
But
So what was the FBI? What was their conclusion?
Because it was the violating of civil rights and all that, and no charges were ever actually filed against him. He was not indicted.
Just had to quit.
He ended up retiring. He took during the investigation. He took like 3 months leave, and then he came back for like 2 weeks and retired when his leave was over.
That's convenient.
I remember our police chief here one night. I guess he was drunk and he was speeding and he got in a wreck, and then he took off driving real fast. and he went home, and it was about 2 hours, and then his wife goes in and says, "Oh, I was driving the car," but this person took off with their lights off and was driving like like a cop, and I mean he got away with it.
Driving like a cop.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, man.
That's actually true because my dad was the first chief of police in our little area, and he drove like a cop, and that's kind of where I got my lead foot from.
Yeah, but this lady, she's a real timid little lady, and she goes, "Yeah," and I just got scared and drove home and told my husband, but yet it took him over 2 hours to go into the police station and say, "Oh, it was my wife driving the car." Yeah.
Well, why was the wife driving a cop car?
Yeah, no, he wasn't in a cop car. It was in his own vehicle.
Car.
Right.
I think that's another benefit that the cops have, and that's widely abused, is that taking the patrol car home thing.
Right.
I see the patrol car at Walmart.
Yeah.
And there ain't no cop at Walmart. In the last city I used to live in, I happen to like Sonic. All right. That's my like little shout out for high fructose corn syrup and all that. But I like Sonic. I like Sonic slushies. I always go during their happy hour, because your slushie is half price, so I get two of them. I would see cop cars come through the drive-through, which is a no-no. Anytime you got a public safety vehicle, it never goes through a drive-through.
Right.
But it would be driven by like the cop's kid. Like his son, really? And he's not dressed like a cop.
And don't they put out of service on their car when they do that? No. I truly don't think that a cop is ever out of service anymore. I think they're always on duty. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Which means they're always liable, but that's part of
that's small town stuff, though. I mean, really.
Yeah, I mean, our small town, our cops drive their cars home.
Here too. But
they shouldn't be able to. Like this, I seen this one video where these guys followed this one cop. He had a wife with him, I guess, but she threw something out of the passenger window, and so they followed him to their local market. Cop got out and he was walking up, and he goes, excuse me, but your passenger threw some litter out." And the cop goes, "Yeah, so what?" And he goes, "Well, that's breaking the law." And the cop goes, "So what are you going to do about it?" And he goes, "No, just wanted to let you know that that's not right." And the cop goes, "Well, you said so. Why don't you go file a report or whatever?" And they go, "No, we just wanted, to say it's not right that you can do it and we can't." And the cop goes, "Well, do whatever you want about it." Like, they know nothing's going to happen to them. They don't care. Even about anything. If you stay neck and neck, like he said, the cop goes, "Well, I could arrest you for speeding." And the guy goes, "Well, I was sticking with your speed, and you're off. You're not on duty. You weren't going to a call, so you were speeding too." And he goes, "Prove it."
Yep.
It just right there blatantly. Hey.
They're not our friends. They're not our friends.
No, they don't give a shit about us.
Retired Officer Jack Boot is on duty, civilian.
It's true. Get used to it.
And most of the cops, like in most communities, don't live where they patrol. They live outside the area, and they don't get to know any of the people.
Well, I think that's a very important point. There is no more community policing.
No.
Like I said, they are out there to enforce the law. They are not there. How many times do they?
They're not out there to enforce the law. They're out there to make their quota.
Or how many times do they stop a robbery? No, they always get there afterwards to take the report. Period.
Oh yeah. When seconds count, the cop is only minutes away.
That's right.
Yeah, like my friend called and said, "Someone's breaking in my house." And I live a half hour away. I got there before the police got there, and she lives in an area where you can see a cop every 15 cars.
You want to, if you need a cop to show up because of a problem, say the other
shots fired.
Say the other party's got a gun.
Yeah, you'll have shots fired. They will.
You'll have every cop show up.
Yep,
with just beaming eyes.
Beaming eyes.
Guns drawn. You know, all you have to do is say shots fired, and I mean, yeah, you'll have every like my neighbors down there. Just a month ago, this guy was going. Somebody called and said he was going to commit suicide. They had every police car there, even the dog catcher. They had detectives and plainclothes. Every cop car in the whole county was there, and they ended up shooting him and helping him along with his suicide. But you couldn't. They had the street blocked. I mean, they had helicopters. It was like the biggest thing that had ever happened. It was crazy. And then they killed him.
We had a suicide here like that where they ended up killing him. I mean, they brought our county cops, you know, all them fat sons of bitches getting up and driving 90 miles an hour down to the end of the road, and they bring out the tactical team, which means Bubba goes home and goes and gets his deer rifle.
Yeah.
And they ended up killing the dude.
Yeah, they bring out all their new toys, you know. I mean, even the dog catcher was there. Every cop, city police, county sheriff, dog catcher, helicopter, highway patrol. I mean, there must have been almost 100 cars there with all their lights flashing, and they ended up killing them. Yeah, it's
good thing they stopped that suicide.
Yeah. I mean, well, they prevented him from committing suicide. They did it for him. But, you know.
Yeah.
And people say the cops don't do anything.
Hey, there you go. You want to help yourself kill yourself, just call the cops and brandish just paint the orange part of the airsoft gun, paint that black, and then bam, you're instant dead.
Officer Kevorkian is on duty to help you, citizen.
Yeah, and you'll be admitted to heaven because it wouldn't have been by your hand. so I mean, you kill two birds with one stone there.
They were protecting his religion beliefs by killing him.
Yeah, protecting his religious beliefs by killing him. That's right.
Now you're going to have to throw him in the ocean because that's how all Muslims are.
Oh, yeah. So that he won't become a martyr.
That's right. There won't be. Now you're going to have a whole bunch of Muslims worshiping at the ocean instead of at a radio. What a joke. What a joke.
He was dead way long before that. That whole thing was so telling, you know. And then they show them watching it on the monitor, all sitting in the room. And who was it? Hillary Clinton said, well, no, that's not what we were doing in that room. You know? And she came out and admitted it. And it's crazy, you know.
They probably got a delivery of cupcakes or something.
A delivery of cupcakes.
God, look at that.
But you notice in the clip, they never showed his face. They only showed the back of him, and he looked kind of big and hefty, where he was very sick. If he was still alive, he would have been thin as bones.
Right. Yeah, he was on dialysis. Well, I mean, if your liver's failing, then you tend to go up like a balloon.
Most people who get dialysis, dialysis is performed through a shunt, which is like a big port, like a big needle that goes in the arm. But pretty much destroys that arm. Or in the neck. If it's in the neck, those people are usually in a bad way. But usually,
and that disease that he had, no one lives past 5 years with that, and it was well over. You know, he was dead a long time ago. Yeah. That's why they didn't let nobody see his face. That's why they flew him out to the ocean and threw him in there. No one ever seen anything.
Nobody ever saw it. And nobody ever saw his paycheck stub from the CIA.
Right.
Yeah. And then Team 6.
Got to remember, what do? We give him $2 billion in the 80s so he can fight the Russians.
Yeah, exactly.
So really, he's not a terrorist. He's just a disgruntled employee.
Yeah.
And you know, it's I don't know. It's just so.
Funny as hell.
It's so everything. You know, whenever they do something like that, where they won't let you see. You know, there was no autopsy done. There was no pictures, not one. And then the team that went in and killed him, all of a sudden come up dead. Isn't that?
There wasn't. Except for the one that went on TV.
Yeah,
that's true.
The other one that said, "No, you didn't kill him. I killed him."
I mean, they're dancing that guy all over the place. They really are. I mean, it's making me sick.
Yeah,
I think
guys just
really. I think we can't refute the terrorism talk anymore with facts,
right?
Because People don't want to hear facts. Facts just get in the way and they confuse people, and it's just a bunch of numbers and names that they can't pronounce.
I don't want to be glorified,
Exactly.
like.
So we can't counter it with facts anymore. You can't say that Bin Laden was a paid CIA employee from 78 to 86.
Named Tim Osman.
Right. You can't tell them that kind of stuff.
Right.
But when somebody complains about something like, oh, did you see they tasered that woman for jaywalking? That was horrible. Well, thank God they did. That's how terrorists start. When Bin Laden was young, he used to jaywalk.
Oh, hell.
I'm sure he did.
Stop the terrorism where it starts. Get jaywalkers now. You have to almost turn it into a point of absurdity, and people will at some point they'll kind of go, oh yeah, I guess that is kind of silly.
Right. Exactly.
And then once they figure that, it's small steps till they get to the big questions, and then that's it. Once those foundations have been shaken, everything comes down, and it's the walls have come down, and now you can see the forest, not just a tree.
Right. Exactly.
Hey,
Plato's cave. Yeah. Plato's cave of the allegory.
What's always got me is, normally very intelligent people and 9/11. I mean, there is so much evidence out there. How can what we consider intelligent people, why can't they see the facts? Why do they? They refuse to see that Building 7 came down. They refuse to see that 13-foot hole could not, have a plane go through it. But yet they still defend the story as told by the media.
I think a lot of those people, seriously, they have questions. They know that the facts don't add up, but somewhere in their mind, they know that if they answer these questions, they're going to come up with a question or an answer that leads them to more questions, and they don't want to tackle those next set of questions.
Yeah,
because those questions lead to more questions.
That's right.
And they're still calling people tinfoil hats that put out the truth.
It's easy. If you read that book, Rules for Radicals, by Saul Alinsky.
That's right.
You see that everything that he's forced upon on people who, I'm not going to say on us, because we're not a group. We're just individuals who all kind of see the same thing. But the ad hominems and the insults and the detractions that are put on people like us usually start somewhere in the media, and it comes right here. Well, the media is one of the biggest practitioners of everything that's in that book.
That's right.
And you have to decimate somebody else's population. You have to make them less than human.
Right.
I mean, look, remember World War II, and we saw the pictures of the Disney cartoons and the Japanese, and they look like rats. Or
that's right.
The World War I stuff and the Germans, they look like beasts. Or some of the Cold War stuff and a picture of Khrushchev looks like a cross between like a warthog and a bear and a man. You have to dehumanize the enemy.
Right, psychological operations.
And that's part of it, What are you, just a tinfoil hat wearer?
Right.
Why would you think that they'd do something that would totally benefit them?
Exactly. Saul Alinsky is like the height of freaking communism. I mean, it's that whole thing. And
it's Bolshevism. Communism is established and comes in after the Bolsheviks come in and lay the groundwork.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, and that's what our big problem is today. And it makes me want to just slap the stupid out of people's mouths. And I say, this is just like Nazi Germany. It's not like Nazi Germany, because if it was like Nazi Germany, shit would be working. Hitler made the trains run right. Say whatever you want to say about it, but the trains ran on time. He fixed the economy.
And then he took over.
Go back to work, and he made people proud of their country. This isn't anything like the quote unquote Nazi party. This is exactly what the Bolsheviks had.
That's right, Lenin.
And if you really want to get into it, that's exactly what Hitler was fighting. But whatever,
Yeah,
that's history, and that's another one of them things that you start getting into, and people don't want to hear it because, well, if you've been lied to about that, what else have you been lied to?
There you go. Yeah, there's this one story about Univision's Ramos to journalists: stop pretending we're neutral. And what he says in here is pretty interesting. in his closing statement, and he said, "Sadly, we stayed silent before the war in Iraq, and thousands of American soldiers and tens of thousands of Iraq civilians died."
Agree with that.
Huh?
They didn't stay silent before the war in Iraq. They trumpeted every frickin' lie they could. He's got weapons of mass destruction. Saddam eats baby children.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, I haven't finished it. Sorry. What you said. Okay.
Sorry.
Thousands of Iraq civilians died unnecessarily. We continued. We have to learn from that. Silence is the worst sin in journalism, but the best is when journalism becomes a way of doing justice and speaking truth to power. Ramos pointed to a quote by the great Nobel Peace Prize winner Elliot Wilson to bring his point home. We must take sides. Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. So what he's saying is we have to stand up and tell the truth out there instead of mimicking what the government tells us. We got to take the side of the victims. I thought it was pretty good.
That's awesome that guy wrote that, but I mean, seriously, where the fuck was he 15 years ago?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I don't mean to speak French early in the morning, but that kind of that kind of article right there from like this modern media, it kind of like aggravates me because that's all fine and dandy that he says that now, but you know what? Offer that dude a position at CNN, and he'll do a story about the police officer that saved the puppy, and then took barbecue to the crippled children. Absolutely, he'll pimp them stories. You the worthless sons of bitches. I hope.
But they won't. You won't stay there, huh? Unless you read the script. And one very blatant proof of that was when that chick announced that Building 7 had collapsed when it was still in the background there. Now tell me that, and then they stopped the clip. But that's, you can change your TV channel. Go from one channel to the next. They are saying the very same thing at the very same time.
Yeah.
In every one of them.
Even if it's in the local news and then the national news, it's the same damn script.
Yeah.
Well, it all comes from the great big global corporation. I'm telling you, I don't want to fall down this path of accusations or anything, but look at who's running it. It's the same people that run the money.
It's true.
And I'll tell you what, it may be that yes, we are the best at making war. The United States is the best at making war out of anybody out there. But guess what? We don't get to make war unless somebody gives us financing to make war.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
A Tomahawk missile costs $2 million.
No, and they They use 45 of them in the airstrikes. How much? Add that
Syria?
up.
Yeah. That's $90 million. Yeah, it's less.
Easy.
It's a little bit more than the Indians used to put their remote control car up on Mars. Whatever. Whatever. We had these guys are getting in the way. Look, they're ISIS. They're bad.
Mm-hmm.
They're bad. They're evil. And we've got news reports that show it. I mean, they're beheading people.
We armed them. We trained them. We, provided their arms.
Yeah.
Oh, that's that tinfoil talk again now.
Well, I like my tinfoil hat. It's like the fancy kind. Yeah.
I actually ordered one online.
And you can go into the kitchen, use a piece of cardboard.
If you get one made out of pressed aluminum, you're doing okay.
Fresh
aluminum. Got a little bit longer lifespan.
When it's still warm and it fuses to your head.
There you go. Yeah.
Fresh off the assembly line. Woo!
Well, and fresh off the assembly line for 1999. Let's take a look at Anonymous. Every one of those kids wants to fight the world and we're going to right the wrongs and social justice now, and you're going to do it wearing a mask that costs $19.99 made in China. Good job. Way to stand up. Way to stick it to the man.
Boy, I wonder if, Guy Fawkes would have ever, imagined his face, on the, you know what I mean? On a mask on everybody. It's just, I bet you he never would have envisioned anything like that, back in his day. Just amazing.
I really have problems with the Anonymous thing. It's they don't uphold any kind of virtue or anything. It's almost contrary Mary. And seriously, for them to back this Ferguson protest like it was, to go all in on it, like, oh, we're going to hack the KKK and all that, you're a bunch of dumbasses.
The whole
really
thing
are.
is that whole little stupid anonymous versus the KKK thing is it just seems so damn contrived to me.
They should take their stuff down because, you know, they hacked the KKK and they made a great big old mess about it. But then, guess what? Uncle, Grandpa, and Bubba in the KKK, they hacked them back.
Right.
So,
Some hatchets.
Check your password or something, you know. Don't make your password something that even morons in the KKK can guess.
Right. I know. Exactly. Well, that's what that Guccifer guy apparently did to, you know, the Bushes and Colin Powell and a lot of other. He guessed their passwords, and he was able to put George Bush's paintings online or whatever because he guessed the password.
Those George Bush's paintings, I'm telling you, that's just shameful. That really says something about like our state of the art in the United States.
State of the art.
I never seen them. Were they bad?
Yeah, he painted his own feet in the bathtub. It was retarded.
What?
They're like White House for the blind paintings.
White House for
really,
the
it's
blind.
like something that they have, like, you know, the high school special ed department art class. It's bad.
True. It is.
I mean, you just want to give him like $7 so he buys like some ice cream and feels good about himself.
And this is supposed to be America's royal family, really? I mean, come on, man. I mean, oh my God.
I think we lost. I think we lost.
I think so too. I was saying that earlier. You're going to be fighting over a fucking Barbie, and George Bush fucking paints his feet in the bathtub. We're history, man. Holy shit! And then Obama gets placed at this last meeting in China. I guess he got placed with all the women, and
he went to the kids' table.
He went to the kids' table. Yeah, I mean we're done, man.
That thing in China or in Burma, the G20 meeting, that just happened, you know, Putin walked out of there, walked out, and they said, "Oh, he's got a headache. Oh, he had to go home. He's got diarrhea. Whatever." But then we've got Hagel stepping down as Secretary of Defense, right?
Yes.
Right.
And remember that Hagel faced all kinds of uproar when he was nominated, basically because he wasn't a friend of Israel, or he wasn't as big a friend of Israel as Israelis wanted him to be.
Right.
So now he's gone, right? But like the day before he was gone, or the announcement said that he was gone, there was news that Russia signed a deal with Iran. It's a 50-year deal to give them 8 nuclear reactors.
Wow. Now
that Hagel was gone, and he wasn't like the favorite of J Street.
J Street.
Who are they going to put in there? Who are they going to put in there to take his place? Who will do the bidding? Who will bring war to the Iranians?
Right. You know, I have a question, and I don't know. Maybe I'm missing this point in history. But when did the Iranians kill thousands of Americans?
Huh?
That was in a news clip yesterday.
I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, I swear. I think I even downloaded the clip. But she said something about, you know, something about us in Iran, and then she said, but how can they do that when Iran killed thousands of Americans? I just can't remember anything.
That's the nice thing about 9/11 guilt. It's right now it's completely transferable with no fees. You can blame it on Saddam, you can blame it on the Taliban, you can blame it on the Iranians, you can blame it on ISIS, you can blame it on whoever as long as you don't blame it on the Israelis.
That's right. Yeah, it's all interchangeable.
So you don't remember anything either, right? You don't remember any.
Absolutely not. No.
I know.
No, they did not. But remember that they wanted to say that Iran was totally behind 9/11. Iran was helping their arch enemy Saddam, who'd killed 8 million of their people only a few years ago. Now they're going to get together and stick it to the man. Whatever.
As soon as they topple Assad in Syria, then they're going after Iran. The whole stage is totally set up for that.
Yeah. And they have to do it before Russia starts breaking ground.
Exactly.
The minute Russia breaks ground, we didn't start a fight with Iran. We started a fight with Russia.
Right.
And Russia is hungry and they can fight back.
Yeah, and they will too. And they've been stocking up on their damn nuclear arsenals as well.
They got something to prove.
Hell yeah.
And
Putin ain't backing down.
Putin is trying to make Russia for Russians. Well, we're not like
right.
that.
I've always said the difference between him and Obama is he loves his country.
We're fighting over fucking panties here in America.
Yeah.
This Black Friday is going to be, great. And next year it's probably going to be even more spectacular than that.
People will bring their machine guns next year.
Yeah.
I believe the Black Friday in 2017 is going to be for top ramen noodles, powdered milk, and radioactive tuna.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's going to be. I think that we are headed for a great big smash. The German Bank of Export Settlements cleared a shipment or cleared a payment to China, and they did not use dollars.
Ooh.
I know. That's
with the BRICS.
Yeah,
that's it right there.
Yep.
And if Germany joins the BRICS, well, that sinks the euro and the dollar. But this is the canary in the coal mine. Hey, check it out, dudes. The birdie's dead. Oh, I don't know. Let's go back and dig some more.
That's right. That's exactly it. Wow.
And I didn't think about it in any kind of big news. I had to search that out.
Notice how that all of this is just going on all simultaneously, just becoming unhinged all at once. We're at that point where
Hannibal Smith said, "I love it when a plan comes together."
Yep.
And I'm sure that there's a Shlomo Hannibal Steen somewhere that's saying, "I love it when a plan comes together." Because
I never let a good crisis go to waste.
That's right. That's right.
And really said that too.
Vote twice, Hillary Rom in 2016. Hillary Rom 2016. Put money on that.
That's right.
Oh.
Rahm Emanuel said that. Never let.
I wish there was somewhere to run, but there isn't.
What did you say? That was so funny. Like, oh my god, that was funny as hell. You just said that. It was.
Oh, never.
Gina. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's probably going to get me in trouble for saying that, but whatever.
Whatever.
What?
Hey, whatever.
It's the truth, man.
Hey, you're just a tinfoil hat. Don't worry about it.
It's the truth, and that's the bottom freaking line.
So, don't waste your energy on screaming about Muslims and all that, because really, Muslims didn't get here on their own. Somebody had to pass a law and open a door for them to get here.
Yeah.
And look who passes the laws and doesn't pass the laws to let these people in. People of whatever kind that are not Americans that are coming here.
That's right. There's a wide open...
Look at the juxtaposition between how it's happening here, and not only are you getting bombed with illegal immigration and legal immigration of all sorts, and the push to take away your gun rights. In Israel, they have 4 stabbings, and it's the opposite way. They shut down the borders, and they say everybody buy a gun.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And remember,
they're going nuts over that.
Here who are making laws that say that you have to let in every sort of immigrant, and you cannot have a gun. They all have a get-out-of-jail-free card, and
that's right.
That's dual citizenship with Israel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Net and Screwwho is totally flipping out over that incident too. He's like losing his mind.
I saw something that said this is like the start of another Holocaust. I'm like, well, Jesus, you only got like 5,996,000 to go or something like that.
Right.
Dude, now it's a little bit early. I mean, I realize that 6 million number is bandied about quite a bit, but just a tad early this time.
Oh my God, it's true.
Just as an aside, we got wild hogs here, right? And they can be a problem. And
I had wild hog yesterday.
Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it?
Yes, it is so good. Nice. Oh my God!
But we had an excess of hogs, and the comptroller of wildlife or whatever he is in the state of Texas, put out a bulletin saying that there were 6 million hogs that needed to die or needed to be eliminated in Texas. And I shit you not, less than 12 hours later, that number was revised to 5.8 million.
Oh my God!
That would happen here too, because we have a lot of hog hunters here. That we get quite a few too.
That's a weird thing.
Yeah, that's a magic number. That's a magic number, and thou shalt not mess with that number.
Thou shalt not mess with that number.
Well, wild hogs are dangerous. You know, they are.
I get what you're saying, dude. It's pretty funny, actually.
Oh yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I would not want to like wrestle a hog. You know, let's just say it's a 150-pound hog. That's 150 pounds of muscle and bone.
Oh
yeah, thick skin and teeth.
They'll take a man down. Easy.
Yeah, real quick they will. So
they bite. They'll chew right through to the bone, man.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with one ever.
That's where the marrow's at.
That's right. Hell yeah, that's where the marrow's at.
Oh.
Well, thank you guys for letting me come on. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Zorie. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us. Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
I'll let you guys close it out. I'll get out of here. Thanks.
Thank you for hanging out with us, dude. We love you.
Call anytime.
Out in the chat room.
Cheers.
Okay.
All
right. Well, that is it. I mean, I looked at the clock and it's like, whoa, it's the end of the show. So, yeah, I'm like kind of sitting over on my couch. I'm not in front of the computers.
Again, you're always on the couch.
It's because it kind of hurts on that chair, man, sitting there for that long. So I'm just chilling, and we're gonna be partying tomorrow. So everybody have a really good holiday. A lot of people aren't working, unless you're in retail. Then you're
watch out for those roadblocks because they'll be out for this weekend for sure.
Absolutely. Yep. Be careful of the cops. They're out patrolling.
This is a big money maker weekend. It's a 4-day weekend. Yeah, they're going to be out there. This is all they do is see dollar signs now.
Yeah, well, they got to reach that quota. All right, so stay tuned to UCY.TV for more awesome programming. I'm actually not quite sure what's on tonight, but hey, man, hang with us. It's awesome programming. We love it here, and we love all your chatters, and we love all you listeners, and everybody have an awesome weekend, and we'll be back on Monday.
Yep, and have fun.
Yep.
They hate it when we have fun.
Yes, they do.
So it should be a goal of ours, just to go out and have a great time.
Yep, and thanks again, Hammy, for being on with us.
I love it when chatters call in, because they bring a different view on things, and it's great.
Absolutely. Here's the bumper! Everybody have
Bye-bye.
Take care, and love each other, and treat each other well. Don't be an asshole. Take care.